Good afternoon. It is Saturday, May the 21st, 2022, and welcome to Jill's Thought, my channel, where I talk about anything that sparks my interest and has some kind of fleeting association with psychology. Now then, yes, I have a different background here than I normally do. They even gave me a little flower for my already floral hat. So just a little different, a little childish, but that's okay because it's pretty, right? And we like pretty. Okay, now then, what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about Jennifer Howell. Who the hell is Jennifer Howell? Well, Jennifer Howell established a charity for the arts called Arts of Elysium. If you go and look up Arts of Elysium, you will see that James Franco is associated. They received an award from Arts of the Elysium for being friends with the charity. And you will see that Amber Heard also got recognition from Arts of Elysium. But even more important, and what we learned this week in trial, is that Whitney Heard, Amber Heard's sister, that she actually volunteered for a time and then was also employed for Arts of Elysium. Jennifer Howell came forward after the Tribeca Film Festival. She came forward when word got out from the Sun trial. The stairway story was dramatically different than what she knew to be true. And what makes her such a fascinating character for this whole situation is that not only was she very good friends with Whitney, but she became good friends with Whitney's mother, Paige Heard, before she died. So this woman, Jennifer Howell, on top of being what really looks to be a really great person, she's doing this art charity that involves really talented youth. I think there is a lot that she learned about Amber Heard that really surprised her in terms of what kind of person Amber Heard is. And so what I want to do today in this video is I want to talk about the Fairfax County Declaration put into civil action number CL 2019-0002911, which is Johnny C. Depp II versus Amber Lauren Heard. The declaration by Jennifer Howell, and we can assume, although it's not been yet stated, we can assume that they will be putting Jennifer Howell on the stand. So I'm going to go through the declaration by Jennifer Howell, and let's talk about it point by point and what's interesting about each point. So it reads as Declaration of Jennifer Howell. I, Jennifer Howell, declare as follows that I am over the age of 18. I am not a first-hand personal knowledge of the facts set forth below, and if called as a witness, could competently testify thereto. Now, to answer your questions before we ever get started in this, Jennifer Howell opened up her email, all of her text messages, everything on her telephone. She opened up everything to Adam Waldman, to the attorneys, to all those officers of the court involved. This woman, I think, is telling the truth. I don't think she's lying. Now then, Whitney Heard, or her married name, Henrickez, whose maiden name was Whitney Heard, is my dear friend, present tense. Not like Miss Amber, where everybody in her inner circle has spread to the wind. They're all broken up, including the marriages. None of these people in this rather moderately sized group that were willing to go to live together even have managed to be able to keep their relationships together, which tells me it was highly toxic group of people. But Whitney, who's been victimized by assault, Whitney and Jennifer Howell remain good friends. In fact, they call one another my chosen sister, i.e., not Amber, my biological sister, which has got to cut someone like Amber, not to the heart, but perhaps to the jealous bone. Now then, Whitney, Jennifer goes on to say, Whitney worked for me as a nonprofit organization that I founded 22 years ago, and I run it, called The Art of Elysium. We take artists and help them be of service to communities in need. We serve over 30,000 individuals in need each year. Whitney volunteered for the organization in 2014 for 6 months, and she worked full-time as a paid employee for me in 2015, 2016, where Whitney served as the art salon manager director. I have learned that Whitney testified in court July the 23rd in London about a violent incident that occurred in March 2015 on the stairs at Johnny Depp's penthouse. Let me check something very quickly. I hate when I do that. The touch screens can be really persnickety. Okay. Quit using my touch screen. That may help. So I learned that Whitney testified in court July 23rd, 2015 in London. 2018 in London about a violent incident in March 2015 on the stairs at Johnny Depp's penthouse. She testified that Johnny supposedly hit Amber and Whitney on the stairs at Johnny's downtown penthouse. Then Whitney said she had to go live with her employer, where she had to sleep on their floor. I am that employer. This is not what I was told to be true. First of all, Whitney came to live in the guest room of my house. Now, why she would want to say on the floor, was that to make it more dramatic? I don't know. But, Jennifer Howell's coming through and say, no, actually I had a really nice guest bedroom. She lives on Wilshire Boulevard. Second, when Whitney arrived, she was a mess. So apparently she arrived that night after this big fight at the top of the stairs that we've all heard about now. Whitney told me she tried to stop her sister Amber from hitting Johnny. She was attacking Johnny on the stairs. Whitney said when she tried to intervene to stop Amber from assaulting Johnny, Amber almost pushed Whitney down the stairs. So it was Amber that was going to push someone down the stairs. Whitney said she was worried that Amber, what quotation marks, was going to kill Johnny Depp. She told me she had endured that kind of abuse her entire life, first from her father and then from Amber, who she said was extremely violent, quote unquote. Whitney lived with me, Jennifer Howell, because she did not feel safe to go back and live in the Eastern Columbia building, Johnny Depp's penthouses. My father reminded me of this morning that I had told him, hey, Whitney has moved in with me because she's so terrified of her sister. I have to say it again. Do you remember the video beside the swimming pool? Do you remember when they were challenging Whitney about the fist fight that she had actually had with Amber? And they were saying, come on, come on, come on. Tell the truth. Did you really start the fight? They didn't believe that Whitney started the fight. They all know that Amber is violent. And they've all committed perjury now for fear of Amber, which makes me think, what? Does she have like compromising information about them? It's very curious. While Whitney was living with Jennifer Howell, while Whitney was living with me, she told me Johnny kept checking in to see how she was doing and that he called her sister and she called him brother. Whitney said to me on multiple occasions that she did not know why he was staying in the relationship, nor why he was putting up with Amber's abuse. Whitney shared with me the damage endured by both she and Amber as children and the injuries they had suffered from Amber, both psychologically and physically. Whitney was devastated during this time, and my heart was broken for her. Notice, too, again, you teach in fifth graders and you say, how do you know the difference between propaganda and what is real? Well, does it fit with something that you already know to be true? Is it logical to what your reality is? And she says that in the days after the big fight at the staircase and Whitney leaving and Whitney being terrified that Amber was going to kill Johnny, that even when Whitney was hiding out at Jennifer Howell's house, Johnny Depp was calling Whitney and checking on her to make sure she was okay. Does that match with what we already know about Johnny Depp? 100%. 100%. This declaration has a lot of credibility, in my opinion. When Whitney came back from New York, the Tribeca Film Festival, where they were airing the Adderall Diaries, she shared with me and everyone in the office, and the list of people that were in the office has been given to Adam Waldman and the law firm that is representing Johnny Depp. She shared with me and everyone in the office that Amber freaked out, attacked Whitney, and threw a wine glass full of red wine at her in the elevator. While Amber and Johnny were in Australia, Whitney was in the office sitting in the kitchen and loudly proclaimed, quotation marks, "Oh my God, she's done it now. She cut off his fucking finger." Loads of credibility. So she goes on to say that she knew Paige Heard. Paige shared with me while I was visiting Whitney that Elon Musk had gifted a couple of Teslas, but Amber found out that the Teslas were bugged. Paige told me that Amber said Elon was controlling and abusive. She was in a legal battle with him over the rights to embryos that they had created together. This seems like Amber's MO. This seems like she has got in her mind that she is going to find a multimillionaire. She's going to declare abuse and then possibly get a big payday chunk of money. Elon wanted to destroy the embryos, but Amber tried to keep them so she could have a baby. Paige told me that Johnny was either an angel or a saint compared to Elon, and she wished that Amber and Johnny would reconcile. Now, we've seen the videos, the photographs of Elon Musk with bruises on his face when he's with Amber Heard. What I'm wondering is if she was giving Elon Musk the Johnny Depp treatment, beating him and freaking out and don't leave me, let me beat shit out of you, prove you love me. And that Elon just said, oh, is this what we're going to do in our relationship? Okay, well, if you're going to hit me, I'm going to hit you. Why? Is that what Paige Heard thought was abusive and violent, was it simply because Elon was mirroring Amber's behavior? And is that why Amber ultimately left Elon? It would have taken an awful lot for a chick like Amber to walk out of all those millions of dollars that the people that are in his life, the girlfriends or the close friends, they get an Elon credit card. They buy whatever they want. Someone magically pays for it and nobody cares. Why would someone like Amber walk out on that arrangement? Why? Because it was a long distance relationship, like she said? Bull. It does look like the evidence does seem to suggest that she was cheating on Johnny Depp throughout the relationship. So why would she care if she and Elon were long distance? She was living in the lap of luxury. Well, maybe because Elon wasn't being a gentleman like Johnny Depp and being willing to stand there and get beat on without a response. Paige also told me the reason Johnny and Amber broke up was because Amber was violent and emotional. Amber loved Johnny so much that she could not control it. And that is what I said in one of my first videos, that listening to the audio was so interesting because it almost felt a bit like reactive attachment disorder, where you've got this weird scenario where she was so hysterical to have him, for him to notice her, for him to love her. And yet when they were together, she was beating on him and creating intense shame and humiliation. And he's one of the most famous, well-known, accomplished, gifted actors of all time. And she's calling him a loser. And thankfully, he's kind of laughing, going, "Are you sure the industry calls me a loser? Because that's kind of odd." But we also know that he lacks some confidence on a really base kind of identity level. And so maybe it did kind of get under his skin a little bit, hurt a little, right? Even though he has all of the he has all of the facts surrounding him that he's not a loser in the industry, in the movie industry. Those wounds of childhood of his mother calling him names, those are hard things to shed, you know? So he his own voice on the stand, he said, you know, life came full circle. And as much as I tried to get away from my abusive mother, suddenly I found myself living with her again. And that had to been so psychodynamically uncomfortable and overwhelming for him. I can't even imagine. He must have his therapist must be fantastic, literally fantastic. Let's see. Amber was violent, emotional, loved Johnny so much she could not control the violence and the emotion. I was indeed taken aback because this conversation occurred after the divorce, and when Hunter, which is Whitney's child, was only a few months old. She said that she was at Whitney's house, and Whitney's talking about Amber and Johnny. After the divorce. It's supposed to all be over with. But that Amber and Johnny were still in touch, and we do know that they were on the phone with one another as late as 2019. Whitney told me that Amber and Johnny were still in touch and that they were each other's true loves, and something to that sentiment. Whitney was still going through the emotions of having had a baby and all of the ups and downs. I could not believe that Amber and Johnny's relationship was being discussed while it was Whitney that needed to be the focal point and needed the support. When Amber got into legal trouble regarding smuggling the dogs into Australia, she asked Jennifer Howell to write a character reference about her charity work, and Jennifer Howell did. We had given her a humanitarian award. She volunteered with the charity and attended events for the charity. I am still grateful for that. I know nothing about her personal life behind closed doors until I became close with Whitney. When Amber was in trouble with the Australian authorities, we wrote the letter of character reference. Later, when Amber and Johnny were divorcing and the $7 million of proceeds was going to charity, I learned that none of it would go to the Art of Elysium. And this was a charity that Amber had worked with for 4 years. Not a penny was pledged to Art Elysium. Of course, we know now, not a penny of it went anywhere, right? Except from Johnny Depp's money and Elon Musk money and possibly Franco's money. She says, I understood that all of the $7 million would be divided between the ACLU and Louisiana Children or LA Children's Hospital. I asked the publicist, Amber's publicist, why, and she said that Amber, the funds would not be known going to a small organization like theirs. And the decision was made to send the money to the two huge charities because they were more prominent. They had worldwide release and they would provide Amber international press. So Amber Heard turned her back on a woman that she had been very close friends with, that she had been volunteering at her charity, that she went to and said, would you give us a character reference, try to get us out of trouble in Australia, and then didn't even pledge them even $10,000 of the $7 million. What a wench. A wench. Months later, a $250,000 donation came into our organization from an anonymous donor, quotation marks, on behalf of Amber Heard. I believe the donation may have come from Elon, and I'm going to say I don't believe that. I think Jennifer is wrong. I think the $250,000 came from Johnny Depp. That's what I think. Years later, on July 24th, 2020, I received 2 subpoenas from Johnny's attorney after Whitney testified about sleeping on my floor following the stairs incident. The following day, I spoke with attorney Adam Waldman for the first time. I told Adam Waldman the stories of my experiences with Whitney, Paige, and Amber Heard, and he asked me to give this declaration. I shared the names of all of the Art of Elysium staff who worked during the same time as Whitney and who were in the room when these stories were told. Many of the staff have additional knowledge that I don't know of. I willingly gave access to all of my emails, all of my texts. I confirmed all dates and the timeline as stated. And this was all done July the 26th on 2020 in Los Angeles, California. And then the final statement, I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America and Commonwealth of Virginia that the foregoing is true and correct. So that is going to be bombshell, across the board bombshell. We know that the Depp team seems to be saving their time. Last week, Amber's team was down to about 8 hours, and it seemed like they were just burning up time. Their witnesses were horrific. Their witnesses actually strengthened the story, the case for Johnny Depp, to the point that people are making jokes. These are attorneys now. Are making jokes on their YouTube channels that Amber Heard's lead attorney, Elon, that she's actually a Johnny Depp fan and that she's trying to help him because it was such a disaster, the people that were on the stand. By comparison, Johnny Depp's team, they still have more than 18 hours left, 2 weeks left in the trial. And they've got 18 hours that they can donate to Jennifer Howell and all of those employees from Art of Elysium. So next week should be powerful, and we'll watch to see what happens. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you being here and listening to me run my mouth. And I hope you enjoy the Japanese, perfect kind of, cherry blossom background. See you later. Bye.